Hello and welcome. In today's video, I'll show you how to solve the date program that's given in the ISC year 2024 sample question paper. So in the question, we are told to write a program in Java to accept a day number in the range 1 to 366 and the year from the user and display the corresponding date. Also, we have to accept n from the user in the range 1 to 100 to compute and display the future date n days after the given date. And we have to display an error message if the value of the day number or n are not within the limit. Day number is calculated taking 1st January of the given year as 1. So let's try to understand this with an example. So if the user enters day number as 50 and the year 2023 and the value of n as 25, then the date that gets generated is February 19, 2023 and the future date, that is 25 days later, it will be March 16, 2023. Another example, if the day number is 321, year is 2023, n is 77, then the entered date becomes November 17, 2023 and 77 days later it becomes February 2, 2024. So the year also has changed accordingly. And if the date is invalid or n is invalid, so for example day number is 400, year is 2023, n is 125. So here day number and n both are invalid because it is not in the given range. So both the messages are getting displayed incorrect day number and incorrect value of n. So this is the question and let's solve this question now. So let's create a file in our home folder. Let's name it mydate.java. Import statement. Class. The main function. We create the scanner object. And then we ask for the day number. Same way, we input the year and the value of n also. After inputting these three values, we take a Boolean variable, Boolean invalid is equal to false. So we are assuming that the day number, year, and the value of n are all valid. So that's why invalid is false initially. But we have to verify this. So let's verify using the if statement. So if day num is less than 1 or day num is greater than 366, then in that case, we print a message incorrect day number. And we change the value of invalid to true because the value is invalid and that's why it becomes true. Else if, now there is another possibility that if day num is 366 and it is not a leap year, the year is not a leap year, then we can't have day num as 366. So obviously we have to create a function isLeap that will check whether the given year is a leap year or not. So we'll create this function later after main. So if this condition is satisfied, then also we can say that it is an incorrect day number. So again we print incorrect day number. And once again, invalid is true. Also, if n is less than 1 or n is greater than 100, then also the data is invalid, so we print incorrect value of n. And we write invalid is equal to true again. So in all these cases, invalid is going to change to true if any of these conditions satisfy. And finally, if I check that if invalid is true, then I simply call the return statement, return keyword, so that we exit from main and the program automatically terminates. Otherwise, we create an array of the month names. So string month name equals, now in the beginning, in index 0, I will keep a blank string, and from index 1, I will start putting the names, because I want January to be in index 1, February to be in index 2, and so on, because it will be then convenient to do the counting. That's why in index 0, I have put a blank string. Once I have stored all the month names, I need another array to store the number of days for each and every month. So I can take int number of days is equal to, so again in the first index it will be 0 because we have not given any value here. Now for January it will be 31, February by default it will be 28, March 31, April 30, May 31, June 30, July 31, August 31, September 30, October 31, November 30, and December 31. And after storing all these values, all these numbers, we check whether it's a leap year or not. If it is a leap year, then we have to make changes in index 2. So we write number of days, index 2, it gets updated to 29, because if it's a leap year, February is going to have 29 days. Now I take index as 1 because as I said, I don't want to start from 0. I want to have index 1 for January, index 2 for February, and so on. That's why I'm taking index as 1. Now, while day num is greater than number of days in the given index, if day num is less than number of days index, then we break out of the loop. Else if index is 12, that means we are in the last month. In that case, day num minus is equal to number of days index, and once again index becomes 1. Else, day num minus is equal to number of days index plus plus. So what's happening here is that as long as day number is greater than the number of days in the given month number, okay, every month has its own number of days. So as long as day num is greater than that, inside the loop, if we check in case day num is less than the number of days in the given month, then we break, then we stop. Otherwise, if it's the last month, then we subtract that many days from day num, and once again index becomes 1. Once again we start from January. Else, if it's not the 12th month, in that case we will simply subtract the number, month number, and we increase the index to the next month. So this is going on in the while loop, and once this loop ends, we will have the date. So in that case, we can print enter date and we will firstly print the month name. So month name index, the current index, will point to that month. Then we give a blank space. Then we print the day number plus, and we give a comma, and we print the year along with it. So the first part of the program is done. Now we have to find the future date. So in that case, we keep a copy of n in num because n will be updated, and in that case we will lose the original value of n. That's why we are keeping a copy of n, and then we can modify n. So as long as n is greater than 0, n minus minus, we will reduce n, and accordingly what will happen? Day num will increase. After increasing the day number, if I find that day number is greater than number of days index, in that case day num will become 1 and index plus plus. If index becomes greater than 12, then once again index should become 1 And year will also update, year will increase. And if the next year is a leap year, in that case, number of days in the month of February becomes 29. And once this while loop ends, we print num days later month name index, again a blank space, day num, then comma and space, and year. And outside the main function, we have to create the isLeap function. The return type will be Boolean. So if y is divisible by 4 and if y is not divisible by 100, or y is divisible by 100 and y is also divisible by 400, then in that case we can return true, it's a leap year. Otherwise we return false. So let's try to understand this while loop. As long as the value of n is greater than 0, we keep decreasing the value of n, and at the same time we increase the value of day num because we are going ahead with the date. And while going ahead with the date, if we find that the value of day num has become greater than the number of days in the given month, that means now we have to shift to the next month. So once we shift to the next month, again day num should become 1 for the next month. And because we have shifted to the next month, index will increase. And after increasing the index, if we find that the index value has become greater than 12, that means a new year has started because we have crossed the 12th month. So in that case, again, index should restart from 1, but the year will increase by 1. And after increasing, that means after going to the next year, if we find that the next year is a leap year, then also we are going to update the number of days for February to 29. And this keeps repeating as long as n is greater than 0, and finally we have the future date. So one change we have to do here, one correction we have to do here, it will be equal 0 over here because we are comparing and it should evaluate to Boolean value, yes. So let's save it and now check the output. Let's give the day number as 50, year as 2023, and n as 25. So you can see that the current date is February 19, 2023, and the future date, that means after 25 days, the date is March 16, 2023. Let's try another example. If we give the day number as 321, year as 2023, and n is 77. So in this case, the entered date becomes November 17, 2023, and the future date becomes February 2, 2024. So the year has changed here. And in case we give 400 as the day number, year as 2023, and n as 125, so it's displaying incorrect day number and it's also displaying incorrect value of n. So I hope you have understood how to solve this date program. That's all in this class. See you in the next class and thank you for watching.